Welcome to Coopertown. It's population 008. My name is Jesse Kennan. Family came here, John Cooper, which is a cousin. Him and his family came here in 1945.
Coopertown, the frog lake stopped shaking. The ghosts of the airboats have left Monroe Station.
We're the oldest airboat rides in the Everglades. I moved back here permanently in 1976, so I've been here ever since.
Reneglades Nation.
The war was ending, so everybody was out of jobs and depression, so they came to Florida to start frog gigging, and they would catch frogs at nighttime, and then they'd turn around and sell them alongside the road. And eventually people started asking him to give them a ride in the Everglades, and so he built a bigger boat and started giving rides at daytime and still frogging at nighttime. And when they first bought it, it was just John, his wife, his brother, and his 2 children, and he asked the kids, what will we name it? We said, well, everybody here's a Cooper, so we'll name it Coopertown, okay?
My name's Red, I work out here at Coopertown. My family opened Coopertown in 1945. My grandfather got it later in the 80s. And yeah, pretty much I'm here working on boats. I do whatever they need me to do around the property, whether it be driving the boats, helping in the restaurant, fixing the boats, whatever the case may be. Playing with the alligators from time to time.
This is where I end up with, and this is where I'll stay, finish the rest of my time, so.
Folks, first time on an airboat, raise your hand. Outstanding, me too. I was actually born to Coot Bay, Everglades National Park, and I have lived within 3 to 5 miles of the Everglades my entire life. I've been operating airboats for over 40 years. I've been doing tours here at Coopertown for the last 30 on the weekends. I'm their official weekend warrior. So I'm taking you folks out to what I like to think of as my backyard. Let's go see the Everglades.
Stop shaking. The ghosts of the airboats have left Monroe Station. The river of grass will be a thing of the past in the heart of our Reneglades Nation.
2 things. Number 1, don't be afraid of the dragonflies. Those are our friends. We out here, we call them Skeeter Hawks. They'll eat 7 times their body weight in mosquitoes in one day. Yeah, that's the Everglades official Zika warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Everglades. It has been said, or shall I say rumored, that the word Everglades itself came from our early English explorers. See, as I understand it, in England, a glade is an open expanse of grass area surrounded by small wooded areas. And it's often been thought that when our first English explorers came inland, they looked across this glade and they just seemed to go on forever and ever, thus the term Everglades. Our local Indians, the Miccosukee, they call this Pahehokee, spelled P-A-H-H-E-Y-O-K-E-E, Pahehokee, and it roughly translates into flowing grass. Now we here in South Florida, we know it by the name given to it by Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in a book she wrote in 1947 titled The River of Grass. You see, folks, this is an actual flowing river. Flows from the north to the south at a rate of about 1/4 mile a day. Now, not only is this considered to be one of the slower flowing rivers, it is in fact the widest. 75 miles wide, 130 miles long. Stretching from the south side of Lake Okeechobee down into Florida Bay, it encompasses far more than the 1.5 million acres of Everglades National Park. See, a lot of people are on the mistake of believing that if it's not in the national park, that it's not the Everglades, and that is a great mistake. Between Lake Okeechobee and Florida Bay alone, there's over 10,000 square miles of Everglades. Now, about every 7 to 14 years, we're going to have the exceptional wet or the exceptional dry spell. Now, over the years, as these trees grow, they're going to collect the nutrients in the water in the form of this tan algae that you see floating on top here. This is called periphyton. Look into the water, you can see where the periphyton is attaching to the grass under the water. It does the same thing with these trees. The tree germinates, drops its seeds. Birds will fly in, carrying seeds from other trees. 30, 40, maybe 50 years go by, and we're going to have an island the size of the one off to our right, the one we just passed a while ago. Now imagine, if you will, that same process over several hundred years. These larger islands generally represent the high and dry ground that's needed for some of our Everglades wildlife. You see out here, all of our deer, wild hog, possums, raccoons, panthers, bobcats, black bear. Let's go see if we can find ourselves some alligators. Damien is the large male gator that rules the roost around here. This is the center or the hub of his territory. He's approximately 11 and a half feet long. Right here on your right, this little opening goes back into his lair. But he can be anywhere from here to 1.5 miles in either direction. Gator, his size, would have anywhere from 2.5 to 3 square miles of territory that he claims is his and will battle for. The male will cruise around until he finds an area that has enough females to pacify him. In his particular case, he's probably got anywhere from 5 to 15 females per square mile. He considers that his territory. As long as he doesn't interfere with their nesting, they'll continue to nest in the same spots every year. Now, the male alligator will choose his territory by the amount of females available to him. They will mate once a year in the springtime. He's a busy feller then. When they mate, the female goes off into the grass area, and using sawgrass, leaves, twigs, and mud, she'll build a nest very much like a compost pile. In that nest, she can lay as many as 35 to 40 eggs. Of that, 25 to 30 might survive to hatch. And here's the sad part. Out of that 25 to 30 that hatch, 5, maybe 10 will survive to become adult alligators. As baby gators, they're only 4 inches long. They fall prey to the storks, the herons, the egrets, and the deeper water, bass, garfish, turtles, and of course the larger gators will make a meal of them. This is the gator, I think it is, we call it Peggy. That's short for peg leg. Remember I told you the bigger alligators will attack the smaller ones. When Peg Leg was about 4 years old, he got attacked by a large male gator. He got lucky. All he lost was that left rear foot. If he swims off to the left, watch when he brings that stump up in the air, and you'll see that he's missing his foot. Peg Leg, Peggy. Doing pretty good. We got 3 of them today, as hot as it is. 60% of their diet is fish. The other 40% would be snakes, frogs, turtles, birds, small mammals and the occasional lady tourist in a blue shirt. Well, folks, as you can see, we've come full circle and returned to Coopertown. I always like to take this time to thank each and every one of you for allowing me to share the Everglades with you. Thank you again on behalf of the world-famous Coopertown Airboat Tour.
On a Tamiami trail through the heart of our